Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is the Papa Joe Show, where Papa Joe knows. I am your host, Papa Joe. Thanks for being here today. We're going to talk about the event. What if the U.S. defaults on its debt? Take a look at some of the things that are going on around what the Treasury is trying to do to potentially boost some liquidity in the markets, as well as what happens to the American people. When the debt for the nation defaults. How that is going to actually be very interesting on impact on everybody, right? So, yeah. Also, what are you going to do if your business, your bank account, what happens in the event that this stupid mess continues to happen? So, stick around to the end. We're going to have some fun. I have some opinions that I want to give you that are mine and my own. So, you guys take it, do what you want with it. Hopefully, it is worth the time. Thanks for being here as always. And listen, if you're new to the show, give us a subscribe, a like, follow, whatever you want to call it. And what I would love to do is have you guys watching on YouTube here. There is a live chat running. Say hey. I don't run through and say hey to everybody else towards the end of the show. Another thing to check out, if you will, is leave us a comment if you're catching it on the replay on the video, as well as check out our Patreon. Definitely have fun with that. And that is where, when the time comes that the censorship crazy starts happening, I will be able to still communicate with you guys. I'll set up a Telegram channel for that. So if you're part of the Patreon, there's a Telegram channel, and there's direct access to myself and amazing, wonderful people who provide actual amazing information, and you know who you are. And what it does is it gives a well-rounded perspective of what's taking place. So it's a great place to kind of hang out and get to know people that are very like-minded, I might do. So anyhow, let's jump into it, shall we? We have some interesting things. What is going to happen when investors are starting to wake up to America's debt dysfunction? Right. We have a crazy, crazy amount of debt. If you don't know what the U.S. debt clock is, yeah, we're at 31, heading very quickly to $32 trillion in national debt. What's interesting is the oil and the gold and the silver over here. Those are different. And some people have done shows, and I don't know where it's at, that describe some interesting things around what the dollar is. Oh, yeah. That's interesting, isn't it? In 1862, President Lincoln issued $450 million directly from the United States Treasury. These debt-free, interest-free notes were known as greenbacks. Debt-free. You know, the dollars that come out of the Treasury or the Federal Reserve is 100% debt, and it's got interest rates associated to it as soon as it's printed. Also, on June 4th, 1963, President Kennedy signed Executive Order 11110, issuing $4.3 billion directly from the Treasury. Bypassing the Federal Reserve Bank, these debt-free interest-free notes were known as silver certificates. And what happened to both of those men when they did that? I guess that's none of my business at the end of the day, but it should tell you the power of the banking system and why it isn't exactly your best interest to play in their little system, if you know what I mean. Now, I say often on Twitter and other spaces that, well, cryptocurrency is the exit strategy. I'm going to keep saying that. Everyone wants to know what I get asked all the time. So with cryptocurrency, what's your exit strategy? It's like, it's not. It is the exit strategy. The dollar is dead. The rest of the world is, in fact, not doing any more deals, any more trade with the dollar. It's fantastic to watch. The people, for me, okay, maybe it's not fantastic to watch. It's okay. Let's take that back. It's fantastic to watch people wake up to the destruction that this stupid banking sector system, whatever you want to call it, has brought to the world. Here's the deal, though. Most people don't realize this yet. It's about to get very, very ugly when it comes to how the rest of the world will recognize the pure evil that is behind the banking sector. But that's also something for later type of a show. or a Patreon type of show. We'll see. Anyhow, this month, global investors face a particular paradox. A mantra of modern finance is that treasuries are risk-free assets. They're really not, actually, implying that the inconceivable that the U.S. government might default. Implying that it's actually inconceivable that the government will default. Except now here we are. They're not raising the debt ceiling, and they're not. They're not just making it go. Yellen wants them to just completely make it go away. That there's no debt ceiling at all. That they can just spend and spend into oblivion. But in January, the Treasury breached its $31.4 trillion debt limit. So we are over our debt limit. As I just showed you guys, we're at 31.7 and climbing. Should tell you something. Anyhow, capping bond issuance. The warning of a crisis unless Congress raises this, something Republicans refuse to do without massive spending cuts. And this week, Janet Yellen, U.S. Treasury Secretary, warned that funds could be exhausted on June 1st. Oh, wait a minute. Today is May 5th. Cinco de Mayo. It's literally, Cinco de Mayo literally means May the 5th. Anyways, all of my... Sorry. The wittiness of a nerd. All right. So, credit default swap prices have now jumped above 165 basis points, suggesting investors fear a small but rising chance of default. It's not a small chance, y'all. I'm pretty sure that's the end goal. Just my personal opinion. I'm pretty sure that the debt default on the U.S. debt default is, I think, the end goal. Because how else would they bring in the CBDCs? Legitimately. They need to kill the old system so that they can launch the new system. The new system has been launched. They just need to flip some switches to turn it on effectively for everybody. It's programmable money. It's geofencing. And it doesn't allow you to do what you want with your money. Buy what you want. Eat what you want. Live your life as a free individual. You will no longer be free with CBDCs. I'm going to keep screaming that till I'm blue in the face. Because here, I think is going to have, we talk about Cliff High from time to time on the show here. Cliff has mentioned that they're going to try 3 separate times to rebuild the dollar. Whatever that looks like. The first one's going to take the longest for people to recognize, oh, this isn't okay. At the end of the day, what that means is it's probably going to take a couple months, maybe a whole month for people to go, yeah, this isn't working. And then they'll try again. And when they try again, it will have even less time for people to go, yeah, this doesn't work either. And then when they try a third time, it's not, they're just going to be, no. And then it'll be cryptocurrency for everything. Bitcoin will be used for settling debts between nations. And I'm pretty sure something like Litecoin or XRP or XLM or whatever, I don't know. There's multiple stories, multiple points of view on how that will work. I think the market will end up telling us, because it is a truly free market, what we will end up using as a means of exchange. So asset-backed digital currencies, or ABCDs, is what BRICS is working on. It's what Texas is working on. It's what I think Texas may end up joining BRICS or be able to join BRICS because they have an asset-backed digital currency. When you have an asset-backed digital currency, the gold is the gold, the silver is the silver, whatever else is in there is what it is. It just won't end up mattering what the name of the currency is, because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's not going to actually matter if the underlying assets are the same. An ounce of gold is represented by XYZ on the blockchain. It is a tokenized ounce of gold, ounce of silver, tokenized. The auditable trail of a blockchain is impressive. If you have transparent auditing, that is open source auditing of the underlying assets, and then you have an open sourced blockchain, guess what? That's pretty hard to refute or to rebuttal on any kind of usability and legitimate use case for everybody. Just something to think about. But anyways, I don't know. Some people think I have no idea what I'm talking about. Y'all be the decide. Yep, the deciders. You be the one who decide. Anyhow, the spread between 1 and 3 month treasury bills has exceeded 180 basis points. a record high. And Alan Schwartz, chair of the Guggenheim Partners, I think that's how you say that, told Milken, told the Milken Conference this week that short-term treasuries yields are higher than corporate bonds. This implies America's C-suite is now considered safer than Uncle Sam. So much for that risk-free tag. Guys, I'm trying to tell y'all, crypto's the exit strategy. I'm not trying to give you financial advice. You go do your own research. Hopefully this is part of your education, and I really hope so. And if you want to know more, if you have no idea how crypto works, if you want to actually come to think of it, who started a company where you can get some time? Oh yeah, I did. Aster Blockchain Consulting. It's in the description of the video. Check it out. It is there so that you guys can grab some time with me. We can go over what you need to learn around cryptocurrency. What do you want to learn? I'll show you. There's thousands of people out there doing that. No one else is doing a one-on-one meeting with somebody, showing you exactly what you want to do for your specific situation, because everyone's situation is different. Right? I work with businesses. I had different projects on my desk. We were working on multiple different things. Lots of really cool stuff. It's a lot of fun to do these shows because, look, y'all need to know this is stuff that's happening. I don't want anyone getting hurt, but at the end of the day, guess what? People are going to get hurt. You're going to hit a brick wall, and I can only tell you so much. I can only tell you so many times. This is coming down the pipe. July is when they're going to launch the Fed now, and they're saying it's not a CBDC and saying it's not a blockchain. I'm sitting here going, it's like PayPal, but it's kind of blockchain, and it's kind of like a wallet, but it's going to track everything you do. It's going to see everything you say. They already have ways to do this, but why do you want your financial sector to do that? Oh, wait, they're the ones who are in control of everything. Who was it? Nathan Rothschild, I think, said, I care not who makes the laws as long as I control the money supply. Should tell you everything you need to know about the Federal Reserve System and the global banking system. U.S. Treasury announces first buyback scheme in decades to boost liquidity. Investors surprised by timing of announcement. The Washington embroiled debt ceiling fight. What do buybacks mean? They're going to actually buy the bonds back? Why would they do that? The Treasury Department on Wednesday said it would repurchase U.S. government debt next year for the first time in decades, and in an effort to boost liquidity in the $23 trillion government bond market. Wait a minute. Wait. $31.7 trillion in debt, and we have $23 trillion in government bonds. That's a lot more debt than I think we're being told, y'all. Just something to think about. Just a data point. Pay attention to it. The program would allow the U.S. or allow Treasury to buy back older bonds, which are typically harder to trade, from primary dealers, banks that act as market makers for Federal Reserve, and help improve functioning in some corners of the market. The buybacks are expected to help the cash management, allowing the department to issue more consistent levels of shorter dated debt. In other words, they don't want those long outstanding debts to be called. Oh my goodness. This would be the Treasury's first buyback program since the early 2000s. Wait a minute. What happened in 2000? The last time there was a tech boom. Oh yeah, the dot-com boom. And then the bubble that was created out of it. So we're coming into a blockchain, another technology boom with blockchain technology. Sure sounds reminiscent to some interesting things going on. History repeats itself, doesn't it? It might not exactly repeat itself, but it sure does rhyme. Anyhow, this is happening since early 2000s, and it comes after liquidity, the ability to easily buy and sell an asset at prevailing market prices, deteriorating late last year to its worst levels since March 2020. Guys, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I'm telling y'all, it's going to be very crazy as we come into this stuff. So, what does this mean for American people, regular everyday Joes, Janes, and their households? What does that mean? Well, if they're defaulting on their debt, what happens when everybody else does? It's a question. It's a valid question. What happens when the banks are failing, and while your deposits might get moved to another bank that stood up at random by the FDIC, whoever, the government, and that you can withdraw your funds out of, so to speak, or on paper have access to your funds. What happens when, where's the debt go? Does it get erased? If you have a mortgage or credit card with these banks that fail, what happens to the debt? What actually happens to the debt? Someone will be like, oh, it's just restructured and moved into these different pieces and you do stuff to pay on it. How? If the bank's closed, how do you actually pay it back? Well, in the case of JP Morgan, just buying First Republic website, I believe, is still up and running. Okay? JP Morgan saying that First Republic will still bank as First Republic, even though they're their owners. So where does First Republic go as far as the stock market's concerned? Well, they're bought out. There's no, it's been taken private, just like Elon did with Twitter. He bought it all, bought all the shares. There's nothing wrong with that, except that just made JP Morgan have more than 10% of the nation's deposits, more than 10% of the nation's deposit effectively, which I think is against regulations because they don't want to have it all in one basket kind of thing in case, what happens if the bank fails? Everyone's saying JP Morgan's one of the biggest, or if not the biggest bank in the country, other than the Federal Reserve. And they're probably not wrong. But here's the deal. There are some crazy things coming down the pipe for that bank and its leadership that have some very, very nefarious things tied to them. And it has to do with somebody who didn't kill themselves. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm very careful on the show here. Yeah. So, you need to understand. And when that stuff starts to really hit the wire, guess what happens to the bank? People aren't going to do any business with that bank anymore. It's already trickling out, y'all. That bank, I think, goes away. We'll see. Could be very wrong. But if I'm not mistaken, in order for this whole new system to be launched, all the banks have to go away. That would include the big boys. Unless the big boys are part of it, and thus they're building the infrastructure behind it to be able to go and do those things. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. We will see. So what happens here, huh? How a U.S. debt default would affect American households. Y'all know why I use these mainstream media outlets, why I use these to give my shows for you guys, because they're stupid. Because I love pointing out the fallacies in their opinions, giving you my own, connecting the dots, and letting you guys decide. That's the whole point of doing this. I also really just don't want y'all getting hurt. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to fall off a cliff. I don't want to hit a brick wall, and I've hit enough. I've hit enough. I've fallen off enough cliffs, hit enough potholes, and I really don't want to fall off this one. And I don't want anyone else that does that either. I don't want any of you guys doing that. You guys are amazing, and I don't want anything happening to people I know personally. And all of my regulars, I'm pretty sure I've met most of you, and I love it that you're here every day. It means the world to me. It really does. But anyhow, let's jump into this. The potential consequences are already playing out, with borrowing costs for the U.S. government expected to soar in early June. Really? Really? What was it? Ninja that was saying we're going to see crazy high interest rates. Houses are going to drop. Real estate across the freaking country, all across the whole world, is going to just plummet. If the interest rates on loans increase to the point where nobody can afford it, then it's already pretty much there. Unless you're a two-income home and you're both making a total of $400,000 each, or not each, total, you're not going to be able to do that with the prices of the homes. Now, if interest rates rise and the price of homes actually really come down, let's just say, let's pick a $500,000 house drops to $150,000, $200,000 at a 10% or an 18% interest rate. That puts it right where it needs to go. You'll see, it's still going to end up, the banks are still going to get their money out of you one way or the other. They're still going to have that same amount. But anyhow, What do I know? I'm just a techie, just a guy who's been in crypto. I can see things and connect dots. Who knows, though? We'll see. The news this week that the government has less than a month before it could start defaulting on its payments has accelerated deliberations about how to avoid hitting the debt ceiling. The situation, or the statutory limit on how much the U.S. government can borrow. Ooh, really? Flashbang, the resident, will get together with congressional leaders on Tuesday to try to hammer out a solution as he considers other more arcane avoidance measures. What are those avoidance measures? Well, I don't know. I didn't click this link, but I will in a little while. That's an interesting question. They can't fix it because they're indebted to the Federal Reserve, and anyone says, I'm going to go pay my taxes and I'm going to be a good old boy, good old gal. I'm going to make sure that the rest of the world knows that I did my job and I helped everybody out and I paid my taxes. Y'all know that it's a voluntary daggum system, not advocating for anything like that, but there are people who are trying to actually find the law that says you have to. And mind you, those people who are doing that, they're kind of they're sacrificing their lives to go do that. But the point I'm trying to make here is when you pay your taxes, like your income taxes as an example, there's multiple types, right? Is you pay that income tax, guess what? It goes to pay the interest on that debt. Not the principal, the interest. That's all it does. That's all it does. Treasury doesn't have any money in it. I mean, they can show it on paper. Maybe they do have some. I don't know. Like, legitimately, though, Congress, Senate, they create bills. Those bills need funding. They don't go to the Treasury for the funding. They go to the Federal Reserve for the funding. The Federal Reserve says, how much? Okay, great. Writes it out. Here you go. Here's your interest rate. You owe that immediately. That's how stuff happens, y'all. This is why I say all the time, crypto is the exit strategy. The markets aren't going to bear much more. They really aren't going to bear much more. At the end of the day, guys, the window is closing rapidly. Let's get through. All right, so they're going to hammer out this stupid thing somehow, but there's no sign of an imminent resolution. There isn't a resolution. They printed too much money. You can't fix that. The system collapses under the weight. That's how it works. The resident and the speaker need to reach an agreement to get past this impasse. That's my message going down to the White House meeting, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell told Press Tuesday. It'll be my message in the White House meeting. So what would happen to average Americans if the government defaults on its financial obligations? The consequences are already playing out. Following Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen's announcement on Monday about running out of time to pay bills, borrowing costs for the U.S. government soared more than 5% for June. This was predictable. In fact, the U.S. did default once by accident. No, it wasn't. Anyhow, in 1979, a series of events included the failure of word processing equipment caused a temporary delay in payments to investors redeeming U.S. Treasury bills. Reuters has reported. Afterward, the cost of borrowing money for the U.S. increased by 0.6%. The wire service said, adding that that an academic paper published a decade later, arguing that the ratcheting up of borrowing costs for the U.S. was permanent, and it was. It is still going up, and it is staying up because they keep printing money. From 2020 to 2022, and probably continuing even now. I haven't checked. They printed like 80% of the monetary supply. My regulars have heard me say this before. Go look it up. From 1913 to 2020, they only had 20% of the current US dollar supply in circulation. And from 2 years, they printed 80% of the current supply. Raising rates to 5% doesn't absorb that. It just doesn't. If the U.S. were to default again, the result would be the same, said Howard Glickman, senior fellow at the Urban Brookings Tax Policy Center for Urban Institute and Nonprofit Research Group, as many consumers have learned since the Federal Reserve began its campaign last year to make borrowing more expensive in a bid to slow inflation. Higher interest rates affect everything from credit cards to auto loans to mortgages. A regular standard used vehicle payment is in between $800 and $1,000 now. You'll need to go pay attention to Economic Ninja. He's been following the auto industry, mortgages, the housing industry. He's a very, very smart guy. I've had him on the show a couple of times. Love to have him on again if he has the time. He's very busy, though. It's about to get very real, y'all. It's about to get very real. Anyhow, the primary effect would be interest rates going up significantly. And they're already going up quickly and steeply. What this would do is accelerate movement towards higher interest rates, and nobody can pay that. In a debt-based system, debt is the asset. That's how it works. This is not going to be great, y'all. I'm telling you. So this is what happens. You're going to pay more at the pump. You're going to pay more in the grocery store. You already are. You're going to pay more if you need to rent. You're going to pay more for if you have credit cards. If you have outstanding balance, you're going to pay more on that. And those fluctuate. You're going to pay more for your coffee. One of the reasons I kept the Patreon show as low as I did is because I want y'all in there. I want people to get that content. People are going to get really hurt from this stuff. And I really, really hope you guys are ready for it. I know that my regulars are. Y'all are fantastic people and amazing, amazing people. I've met, like I said, most of you, and I love it. This is not going to be good, y'all. So that's some things to be on the watch for, because that is coming down the pipe. But how to keep your business deposit cash safe during the banking crisis? Who can guess? Who can guess? Who can guess? The rapid failure of 3 banks. 3. It's been almost 6 now. First Republic was 4. There are 2 more, PacWest, and then one other, I don't remember what it is right now, are in the pipeline this weekend. Probably have 2 more by the end of the day. I don't know. I haven't looked, but I'm telling y'all, the banks are done. The rapid failure of multiple banks, I'm not even going to say 3 because it is just not, that culminated after First Republic and account holders withdrew over $100 billion in deposits. It was sold to JP Morgan. Told you guys a second ago. Should be leading small business owners to scrutinize their own accounts and institutions. This is a mainstream media that no one really listens to, but y'all need to realize that they're actually saying, hey, you might want to think about looking at the bank you have your money in. Y'all think I'm joking that crypto will be the exit strategy? There's only so much gold and so much silver. There's only so much crypto. However, you can buy a fraction of gold and buy a fraction of silver. I'm sorry. You can also buy a lot of fractions of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Litecoin, etc. Just want you to understand something, guys. When the gold and the silver dealers no longer accept dollars for purchase, what are you guys going to do with it then? They can continue to sell dollars or sell gold, silver for dollars. Eventually, they won't do it anymore. Eventually, they'll say, yeah, we want the yuan or we want Bitcoin. What happens to Bitcoin's price when the gold dealers accept only Bitcoin to buy the gold? Do the math, y'all. What happens when they will no longer accept dollars, but Bitcoin will accept dollars because Bitcoin doesn't care what your fiat currency is. It's a big, huge sponge sitting in an ocean soaking it up. And it will continue to do so until there is no more fiat to soak up. And at that point, the valuation of those cryptocurrencies will no longer be in fiat. It will be in the precious metals, which is why asset-backed digital currencies, in some regard, make a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. The banking crisis isn't over. PacWest shares plunged Thursday. I don't know what they are today. I haven't looked. Maybe we'll look at them in a minute. But moving money to the largest banks isn't always the answer, or likely one of the best business owners who, or likely the best one for business owners who value high touch relationships with local regional lenders. At a time of high interest rates on both loans and yield-bearing accounts, small businesses should be looking for the most competitive rates and account types. If the banks default and they don't, people are actually looking at this now and they're saying, I don't know if I want to put my money in there. Or these regional banks are wobbling and they're having problems. What happens when people withdraw their money? Have you tried to withdraw money recently? There was a video that went around not too long ago. I may have shared it in the Telegram for you guys. I don't remember. But it had something to do with a guy who was a social media influencer, wanted to go pull out $250,000, which wasn't a lot for him apparently. Called the bank, said, I wanted $250,000. They said, okay, it's going to take 4 weeks. He's like, 4 weeks to get my money out of the bank. Okay, I'll deal with that. Waits 5 weeks, shows up at the bank, and goes to get his money. He got a little over $100,000. Didn't even get all he asked for because that's all they could get for him, and it took them a week longer. Cash has been removed, y'all, because they're going to launch a CBDC. People think that's absurd, that there will be programmable money, that they will track everything you do. They would never do that. Our government has the best interest at heart. Sure they do. Just like a snake. Sitting there not doing anything until it does. Guys, cryptocurrency, I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face, and then I'll probably still say it, is the exit strategy. The money will flow into it because there will be nowhere else for it to go unless you burn it. Gold and silver will not, people who sell gold and silver will not buy it. They will not let you buy. Divi has a nice little pump. Matic is having some interesting time here too. So is Axie. People love their Tron, and that's doing really well. Mortgage rates somehow are down, sort of. I don't know how they think that. Whatever. All right, let's see. Where did it go? Oh, look, hey, they're all up. First Republic's gone. Deutsche Bank, all these different ones, they're up. Charles Schwab is down. Credit Suisse. Oh, wow. Credit Suisse is under $1. Whoa. Deutsche Bank. Okay. UBS. Interesting. Guys, banks. Where is Bank of America? Bank of America. JP Morgan's still one of the bigger ones. Guys and gals, just take the education, run with it. And if you really want a one-on-one white glove type of experience, schedule some time directly with me and I'll help you through it. There are multiple people I have helped be able to gain access to the crypto that they thought they had lost. I've helped people figure out how to use a wallet, how to safely secure their stuff. I have an information technology background. I know what I'm talking about for the most part, okay? I mean, everyone can make mistakes. And I don't know everything. I want to learn, though. It's a lot of fun. So, I'm going to run through. I'm going to say hey to everyone. We're going to have a good weekend, right? We got Lithia. What's going on? Thanks for being here today. And yes, it is Friday. It's a squirrely bit of a day for me, but that's okay. Tom, what's going on, brother? Thanks for being here today. Appreciate you being part of the show, as always. And we've got Daddy-O. What's up, brother? I don't speak Spanish, but that's okay. Good to see you, man. Trinity SS, brother. It's good to see you, man. It's been a little bit. Hopefully you are doing well. It's good to do well. We've got Johnny Holder in the house. What's going on? Thanks for being part of the show. Oh, yeah. Paper silver, 375 to 1 ounce of silver. So there's 375 times the amount of silver being traded on the COMEX than there is in silver in existence. Gotta love it. I'm telling y'all, it's all rigged. Oh, by the way, JP Morgan was brought up on racketeering charges at one point, not too long ago, for doing that rigging. Gotta love it, guys. Gotta love it. Doobie-doobie-doop. Let's see who else we got here. Who else is in the chat? Y'all have started having a great conversation. I love it. Rebel Outlaw, what's going on? Hey, I'm a little late, but I'm glad you're here, man. Better late than never. Better late than never. It is so much fun. That's a lot of zeros and derivatives. That's a lot of zeros. I'm not even going to try. That's a lot of zeros. Where does it all come from? What do they do with it? How are you and I supposed to pay that back? Because, did you learn about the birth certificates? You know what? That's a Patreon discussion. Maybe we'll do something like that on Patreon. Anyways, we got Trinity Man. What's up, brother? Thanks for being part of the show. I think it's amazing to see you, dude. Hopefully you and the family doing well. Appreciate it. Daddy-O, I see what you did there. If the banks and government default, why would John Q. Public even pay what we owe? Exactly. If they're defaulting and we're paying it to them, who are they defaulting to? And then what happens then? Again, if you want to be able to continue commerce, crypto is the exit strategy. Oh, goodness. What's going on, Tom? How you doing, brother? Thanks for being part of the show, dude. It's fantastic to see you. Hopefully you are doing well, and hopefully your scrimmage went well the other day. I was trying to play golf at some point here soon, but it's just been crazy trying to schedule something. Plus, it's been oddly cold in my neck of the woods, too. So, anyways, who else we got here today? In my country, the state wants to raise the property value 42%. Whoa. That's a lot. Lithia, exactly. Flashbang will fix it. He's not even cognizant of where he's at. Just wants his ice cream. Oh, I love it. Gloria, what's going on? Thanks for being here today. It's a great Friday for sure. We've got Larry, excuse me. Good to see you, man. Thanks for being part of the show. It is a great day for sure. Where else we got here? Gloria, this is a good point. I saw it earlier. I wanted to bring it up. Papa Joe, is the Divi wallet the best buying small amounts of Bitcoin and Litecoin? It's self-custody as soon as you buy it. So, personal opinion, do your own research. Y'all figure it out. I really like the Divi project and really like the Divi wallet. Being able to buy your crypto directly in the wallet and then immediately self-custody is something that is very, very valuable to me, and it should be to all of you. Holding your own cryptos is much safer and more important than letting a third party hold it, unless they are an actual custodian, like Viva Capital. They're an actual custodian of cryptocurrency. I'm not talking about an exchange. I'm talking about somebody who actually custodians your stuff. Whether it be a 401k, an IRA, whatever, crypto-related type of an investment. need to understand they also do the insurance piece too. Other custodianships don't do that. They just don't. The ones that failed proved to you guys that they weren't worth it. But anyhow, who else we got here? Trinity SS. Did Charles Schwab buy TD Ameritrade? I'm pretty sure Charles Schwab owned them prior to everything. That's a simple Google search though. But anyhow, I don't know off the top of my head. PacWest is up 80%. What? Hang on. I gotta look that up. PacWest. Are you kidding me? No. Let's pull over here. Look at that, Daddy-O. 78%. So right there. 25 minutes ago, PacWest stock surged 80%. Regional banks recover after sell-off. Insider trading much? Maybe? I don't know. SEC's doing a probe on that apparently. PacWest, 80%. So what are they going to do? A dead count bounce and then let everyone get hurt again and bye-bye? Who knows? Who knows? Gloria, you are welcome. Thanks for being here today, as always. Listen, y'all, if you're new to the channel, give us a subscribe. If you like content, smash the likes. And if you're catching this on replay, give us a comment. Let us know who was there, and I'd love saying hi and seeing who's part of it. So listen, y'all have a beautiful, blessed rest of the day, an amazing weekend. We'll see you on the Patreon, and we'll talk to you soon. Take it easy.